You see, that's just the thing about monitoring people's content. The sad and disquieting thing is that everything that a person says in their videos, you will use it. Everything that they say, you will use it. And then it'll come back and bite you in the behind. I do not give a rat's behind. Do you understand? What anybody imagines they can conjure up in their imaginations against me based on what they hear in my ministry. Bottom line is, I rock up and I swat afterwards. I rock up and I'm the one that takes to eternity afterwards. I'm the one that rocks up and then professes what the Lord has shown me. I give prophecy. And the Lord is the one that takes up my cause and then neutralizes the filthy dirtbag that used anything that I said in my content to try and get to me. You keep on concocting brand spanking new ways to sin. Ever since you heard the fact that my sister was used last time to get at me to try and fulfill some kind of a spell in operation to make me embrace either the status of Cinderella or to just die. Some filthy little animals have made a decision to continue to utilize this horse that gallops easily because Satan is its jockey. Women have allowed themselves to be the horsemen of the apocalypse, out here galloping, bringing the world to an end, while men are their jockeys. You've left yourself just like my sister to basically be that which is ridden to bring about the very end of the planet. You are the vessels of dishonor that are in use right now to fulfill Bible prophecy that you might be once used like a nice little prostitute, thrown away. Next, on to the next one. You are a means to an end. You are a method to a madness. You are an order in a chaos. You are that which is an misunderstood mess. You are rubbish, yet hugely appreciated by filthy men. So you are brain-eating amoeba. It's exactly what you are. My sister is a brain-eating amoeba. Sometimes my mom is a brain-eating amoeba. I have female cousins, brain-eating amoeba. Former friends, brain-eating amoeba. Former female colleagues, brain-eating amoeba. Complete strangers that are women, brain-eating amoeba. Amoeba is both a plural and a word in its singular form. So no, we don't say brain-eating amoebas. But you must understand that you collective brain-eating amoeba. You heard of brain-eating amoeba. You cornucopia, you pride, you colony of brain-eating amoeba. This herein lies is your end result. Just like the parasite that you are. Once you have depleted your host, you too will die. You will have been ready and willing, viable vessels usable by worthless men, and once there are no more women that are viable left other than the ones that belong to Jesus Christ, it'll now be your nice and handsome turn to perish. You will now have to just start dying, women, because God is doing something, okay? And you don't get to stand in its way. Look, I literally do apologize. I am sorry. You are like Goldilocks. Women, you are like Goldilocks. Allow me to tell you the story of Goldilocks, not all of it, and the little bear, and the three bears. We all know that Goldilocks was this irresponsible rando into breaking and entering people's houses or animals' houses and just taking whatever it is that she wants because she imagines that being the bandit that she is, she gets to. She rocks up in the house of bears, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and little child bear, baby bear. And And Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear, having gone on holiday or whatever, out in the wilderness, surfing. Goldilocks goes in there, does that which bandits do when they enter your house. Start to cause mischief. And initially she happens upon porridge, food. She eats Mama Bear's porridge, and she's like, ooh, it's too sweet. She eats Papa Bear's porridge, and then says, ooh, it's too hot. And then she eats a Baby Bear's porridge, and it's like, oh, it's just right. And then there we go. Gone is the Baby Bear's porridge. She then goes on right ahead to sit on the chair of Mama Bear and says, ooh, it's too soft. And then she goes on right ahead to sit on the chair of Papa Bear and says, ooh, it's too hard. And then goes on right ahead to sit on the chair of Baby Bear and then says, oh, it's just right. And then starts to rock in it until, since she is Ingutu, she's just chunky. It's not made for her, it's not bespoke for her. She then breaks the chair. Goldilocks then moves on right ahead to the bedrooms, because that's just the nature of bandits. They go even into private premises where people retire at the end of the day because they have no respect for people's privacy. She goes and sleeps on Daddy Bear's bed, and nobody understands why he's not sleeping with Mama Bear, but anyway. And she's like, ooh, it's too hard. Mama Bear's bed. Ooh, it's too soft. And I mean, I guess you know where it is that this is going. Baby Bear's bed. Lies on it and is like, oh, this is just right. And then, feeling massaged by the bed, goes on right ahead to fall asleep. Lights out. Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and the kid come home. And when they enter their house, they discover, oh, it's been broken into. What's going on? Now it's time to eat lunch or dinner, whatever. Breakfast. Mama Bear is like, somebody touched my porridge. What's going on? Papa Bear, somebody touched my porridge. What's going on? And then Baby Bear is like, somebody also touched my porridge. What's going on? And they finished it. And so the bear cries. The chairs. Somebody sat on my chair. What's going on? As Mama Bear's sitting on it, she realizes that it doesn't feel right. Daddy Bear sits on his chair. It's like, somebody was sitting on my chair. Doesn't feel right. But then Baby Bear's like, I can't even sit on mine, 'cause it's broken. And it cries. Then, of course, the bedroom. Somebody's been sleeping on my bed, making like Drew Hill. Papa Bear, it doesn't feel right. Mama Bear, here is another Drew Hill. Somebody has been sleeping in my bed. Doesn't feel right. And then a Baby Bear is like, somebody is sleeping in my bed, and here she is. It's that Goldilocks. Goldilocks then wakes up, screams, runs away, and she gets pursued into the wilderness or whatever. Essentially, what I'm trying to get at is that women, you are bullies of those that cannot fend for themselves. You are bullies of other women that are out here with the best of things, but that you underestimate and that you mistreat precisely because of their little tiny nature. You grab women, you put them in a position to suffer harm greatly. You take their freaking porridge, sit on their chair, break it, and then you sleep on their bed like Drew Hill. And then you expect that a holy God is going to let you continue to deplete Scheme Sahau on the left and on the right, to continue to deplete all the women in the office on the left and on the right. Like, everywhere you go, you're a reign of terror. Look at you go. Everywhere you go, you are a bandit. You're a smuggler, a burglar, a breaker, and an enterer. You keep stealing the futures of women. Largely when you are waving your silly little magic wands, women, it's mostly against other women. Hardly ever are you going to be bewitching a man, unless of course you want them by force. Through Gorobela, you are interested in them romantically, so you bewitch them. Mostly, however, you bewitch other women. And women are the weaker sex, and they need protection. When then you put them at the mercy of anything that can be merciless, you must understand that on that day you're going to find out the hard way that there is a God. Because if there wasn't, woe to your victims. You crash and burn women's food in the tummy. You take it all. Fellow women. You crash and burn where women can sit and be comfortable. And then you sleep in their position. You are thieves. You've got sticky fingers, and in so stealing the lives and futures of fellow females, you then put them at the mercy of squalified men that are the stuff of fecal matter that ought to be largely ignored, yet nonetheless are getting strange attention from everybody, because where is a woman that has had their porridge eaten? Where is a woman that has had their bed slept on? And where will a woman that has had their chair sat on and broken, where are they going to find lodging in society other than to essentially allow a man to take care of her? Not that there's anything wrong with men taking care of women, it's the job God gave them, but the ones in 2024 are what under heaven is encircling me. They in a Hegelian dialectic, and I've been saying this time and time again, devastate a woman's life that they might orchestrate her rescue. Just in case you are yet to understand what a Hegelian dialectic is, it is essentially the stuff of causing so much calamity, disaster in any ecosystem for the very purpose of rocking up and fixing it. It is a messianic complex where the said Messiah is diabolical because he creates the very torture that people need rescuing from, that he might rock up with some forceps and start interrogating this like a scientist. They do that to women in a Hegelian dialectic. They destroy our lives. Only that they might rock up and easily come and rescue the dame. So it's not true chivalry. It's not true rescue. It is disaster. It is Ike Turner. It is wife beater. It is 6 feet under. It's giving casket. And you put women in a position to suffer that level of sorrow because you are bullies like Goldilocks. Those of you who teach yourselves witchcraft, you walk into MTN, and even though you've been working for the company for a mere week, you've already bewitched 5 female colleagues because in your wake there is so much destruction. You have destroyed so much in your wake. There was a colleague I had at MTN that I knew for just 2 weeks. She was new. She started working for the company, was assigned as a resource in one of my projects. We became fast friends, and within 2 weeks she had made a determination that my career needs to be brought to a blistering end. If she had not worked for MTN, I would not have endured that kind of witchcraft from her. But one day she rocked up knowing me barely and decided that I don't deserve a future. That's what you do, women. And this thing that you do is inspired by nothing but jealousy. You make decisions that women are not going to be happy in love. You make decisions that women are not going to have healthy children that are doing well in school. You make decisions that women are not going to succeed in their careers. You make decisions that women are not going to do anything with themselves. They can't start businesses. You make it your life's mission to chart the course of the lives of women. And then you enable misogynistic miscreants. You enable chauvinistic baboons to rock up and do that which they've always wanted to do. Be the only one out here making money so that his slap is not going to result in incarceration or even divorce. Putting women at the mercy of worthless fecal men. Goldilocks, you insist on taking The weaker sex is everything. Hence, you're all up in baby bear's grill. So, I mean, if the Lord is trying to salvage the earth, gather for himself a people for his own possession, what's gonna give? You, out the way. You are vestigial, largely irrelevant, however, unfortunately, heard. Unfortunately, only once present in a room to be seen. You make sure of it, that you're the only one here flailing pom-poms that are visible because you're a mascot for wicked men. Only once. And then when these wicked men find us, little bears, chilling without porridge, chilling without a chair, with a groove on our beds, because some freaky little female is sleeping in it, like Drew Hill, they then want to rock up and listen to this after you have destroyed our careers, and after you've made us sit around at our homes, behind our parents' houses, in shacks, gathering dust at the age of 40. These men then insist that we embrace isitembu. We take in our stride being second wives, stepmothers and blended families of kids that are already teenagers and disrespectful. Take in our stride essentially being changed the diapers of by a man, even though you're a whole grown woman, because apparently if you don't take that, you'll never live. You make men say stuff like, but nothing's coming, mus. There's the pepper. Thank God he exists. In spite of how nihilistic you are. Because if he didn't, you brain-eating amoeba would dumb down the entire conglomerate of human women. Because what the heck do you think you are doing? Imagining that you can mess with human beings made in the image of God and not have their maker intervene. My coffee is bespoke. When you insist on pouring a whole bunch of water and milk into it, you are poking and prodding away at me. Just like that little sister in my analogy, out here wearing the clothes of a sister whose body is just missing so many parts that you can't possibly believably wear this outfit and have people not look at you like you're silly. This chick could not possibly believably drink my coffee and not in and of herself imagine herself silly. She just wanted to get at me. But you see, the devil knows that when a person is at the end of themselves, the smallest little thing will blow their top. He knows what it's going to take to make David commit genocide against Nabal's town. And so he manufactures those conditions. I dreamt about you in your numbers, okay? The men that you keep on helping along, literally, I apologize, I'm sorry. You who are Goldilocks. You who steal the futures of women and then hope that you are going to be absolved, escape somehow the tyranny or the sorrow of the drought that's going to come on the world at large because of what you started. Eh? Nothing works in a vacuum. You who are like an OnlyFans model, whose husband and boyfriend don't know that you keep on prancing your wicked little body in front of men for money. Your little secret lives are about to be exposed, and that's why you're gonna die. Y'all need to comprehend this is the end of the road for you filthy females. And in that I tried, I warned, even though it was not first price for you to be knocked out. Bottom line is, you don't get to stand in front of the gospel at this particular juncture, at this late stage, and be spared. You just don't. I keep dreaming about you thinking that you're gonna take over the reins because you think that men are wasting time. And I said that the other day. I did a video where I spoke about how it is that there are women who feel as if they're gonna take matters into their own hands because they think men are wasting time. Do you know what a brain-eating amoeba is? It is just that. It is an amoeba a single-celled organism, so there is no complexity to it. It is a basic little cell that, however, can just kill. When you are that unsophisticated and yet somehow can bring about so much freaking death, tragedy in any ecosystem, I'm sorry. We are in dire need of exsanguinating you. We need to get rid of you. From the streets, you've got to be vacuumed. You have to be swept away. Like the Pied Piper of Hamilton, somebody needs to play a flute that you might go to your watery grave. Your rodents. A brain-eating amoeba is the single-celled organism that enters the bloodstream through a myriad of ways, largely from swimming in certain waters, swimming in certain murky waters. That's why it is counseled that you should probably not swim in still waters, and certainly don't drink from them. But you see, the thing about a brain-eating amoeba is that unlike cholera, that comes in because you drank still water that has E. coli in it, a brain-eating amoeba will come in anyway, even if you have kept your mouth shut. All that you did was wash your face with water from a river. All you did was swim at a river. And if this amoeba are collectively in that region, they will go up your nostrils, travel through your nasal cavities, etc., go in your brain, and then just start eating, and there is no cure for it. 99% of people, or 98% as at the last time I checked, who have a brain-eating amoeba don't survive. And those that do survive rarely ever have what cognitive functionality that they used to have anymore. So they just basically become zombies. Because the only way, I guess, that they can survive is if a certain portion of their brain is cut out where this amoeba's at, and it's also very hard to identify. But for under a microscope. So therefore, the discovery of this brain-eating amoeba tends to only even happen at autopsy, where it is that a brain gets taken by a coroner, chopped up, and then you realize, you discover, identify cause of death. There's no pill you can take for it, like an antiparasitic or anything. You just gotta wait to die. And it tends to take people's lives away within 3 days of lodging in the mind. But you will know, in the brain, you will know that this person was swimming at a funny lake, this person was this, that, the other, which is why I am scared out of my mind of still water, of lakes. I can never understand people who hop, jump in, dive in, swim at lakes. It's just so dangerous. This cholera, there's just so many issues that can happen. Let's stick to the swimming pools with chlorine in them, and even the ocean, but do not come at me with a lake. However, brain-eating amoeba every so often, if at all, the ablution, the water cleansing technology of your city, your country is not up to par. It can even make it into tap water. And so therefore, you will be out just spraying your face with some tap water, and this thing will travel, and then kill you, because it's in your water. So thank God that most of our governments are regulated, right, in terms of what it is that we can consume as tap water. It's extremely rare. However, when it happens, you're out like a light, largely. Most people don't survive it, and by most, I mean by a landslide. So women, what I'm trying to explain to you is, you being compared to a brain-eating amoeba is essentially being compared to something that, if at all it is taken seriously, this wicked thing that you are, no woman survives you. No woman survives you for a friend. No woman survives you for a mom. No woman survives you for a colleague. No woman survives you for an acquaintance, a classmate, a sportmate. When you have reared your ugly head, the earth cannot bear up under you. You are a toxin. You are a gas, a fatal one. You are an extinction level crisis, and you cause the dumbing down of people. You destroy entire societies just because you're there. You are Jezebel. You create a matriarchy that is destructive of an entire country, and you make kings dumb only for you to die, but not first before destroying the faith of an entire freaking country. You are brain-eating amoeba. You make men ignore their call in Christ. You make men steal Naboth's vineyard, O Jezebel. It's written in God's word in the Proverbs that an evil woman, and I read that the other day, her feet go down to death. Men who frequent her streets don't come out alive. It's also written about this brain-eating amoeba woman that she is like rottenness in the bones of a man. She's destructive. She teaches children nonsense. Let me tell you a story. When I was dating my ex-boyfriend, he had a friend that was dating a brain-eating amoeba. Do you know how amoeba reproduce? Is it meiosis or mitosis? Which is the one that splits a cell in two? Which is the one that splits a cell in two? One of the two. An amoeba reproduces by meiosis or mitosis. It splits into two. So basically, you are copied. You inherit your trash and you pass it on to anything around, any woman around. You pass it on to children, but not just kids, but friends, because what you are is contagious. That's how my amoeba reproduce. That's how they continue to proliferate. It's a single-celled organism, and how it makes more of itself is by splitting into two. And then the two split into another two. And then the two split into another two, and so on and so forth, growing like a virus. Parasitic that way. Yeah. Therefore, anything at all that is even a fraction of who you are will inevitably also destroy where they are at. It is no wonder there is a cornucopia of brain-eating amoeba all up in my grill, in my hair, like a tick, attempting to cause an atmospheric disturbance in the life of a woman that if she had not given yes, that had to happen, her life to Jesus Christ, I also would have inevitably become a brain-eating amoeba. I saw it happen with my cousins, where the younger ones inevitably became worthless because they copied sisters. Kids becoming just like their parents, etc. So let me go on right ahead to continue to tell you the story about the brain-eating amoeba from the past that I once knew. My ex-boyfriend had a friend who had a girlfriend that was a brain-eating amoeba. Let's say that this chick's name was Petunia. And let's say that her boyfriend's name was Vose. Petunia was a young woman like us. I think she was exactly our age, 1984. She had a boyfriend amidst these guys, so we all imagined we could all just be friends together. But Petunia had a hard life, a hard time. I apologize. Being kosher and couth towards women. You know those women, you've met them. Come to a braai that has 10 other girls there, and you pass every single last one of them shade like they need you. They're like, hi Petunia, I'm Bali. Hi Petunia, I'm Lerato. Hi Petunia, I'm Pinky. Hi Petunia, I'm Tshegofatso. Hi Petunia, I'm Kgothatso. And she'll, with a banana peel handshake, be like, hi, 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 hi. The whole night, because you know how they make us sit with each other as women at these bras? Everybody's having a conversation, laughing at whatever they're laughing at. It is a gathering between people who are out here exchanging pleasantries because they know each other. It's fun. It's a social environment. Ha 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 ha. Oh ha 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 ha. Oh ha ha ha. Oh no ha ha. But this Petunia the whole time is just like, and then this Petunia, because of just how uneasy and uncomfortable she is, making everybody else that's out here uncomfortable, the boyfriend, who would have under normal circumstances stayed until 11 p.m., 12, maybe 1 a.m., will leave at 9 p.m. because his girlfriend is just a weight on the whole room. She is a cloud on the whole room. She is a bereaving presence in the whole atmosphere. No one at the braai is 100% comfortable. And even though we are trying to accommodate her, she's just not giving. You know those girls. Nobody pleases her. No one. Not even guys that like to drop jokes every so often that everybody likes can make this chick laugh. She has a queenly poise about her. A pomp and an arrogance, a narcissism that dwells very richly, and she absolutely loathes other women, loathes them. And you would ask yourself, how then does she have friends? Whoever is her friend, how is that even a thing? Because when other women are kind and fresh to her, she just can't let loose and let them hang. She's just unprepared to relax. And she is always spawning with other women in a very competitive vibe. Petunia was like that. And we knew Petunia for, by the time that Petunia and this dude broke up, my ex and I were dating maybe 2 years. So we had seen Petunia a few times. You would think that the first time she was introduced, maybe she was just given the shies. She was just scared, nervous. Tababatu. But after 2 years of always hanging out, girl, when you still got all that attitude, you then start to become that witch. When you rock up at the braai, everybody's like, yo, utlele girlfriend. Yo, he came with a girlfriend. Everybody is looking around on some, why does he keep bringing her? Because she is indeed just that, a party pooper. Y'all know Petunia, you've met her. Well, allow me to help you understand how Petunia gets like that. Petunia becomes like that because Petunia is freaking demon possessed, okay? And when you're indwelt by that many spirits and your life is determined, is dedicated to manipulation, when your life is perpetually encircled by the darkness, you will only ever manifest that which Satan can only ever manifest. There is no joy in the climate of Satan. There is no peace, no tranquility, no reconciliation, no human fostering of relationships amidst Satan. There is only discord. There is only pomp, pride, arrogance, the belief that you are bigger than everybody else. You are aggrandized. You are vapid, however, of the imagination that you are awesome, stellar, spectacular, girthy. You think everything in these streets is fecal matter. And you imagine that in and of yourself, you defecate ice cream. That pomp to not even be able to be good peoples with at least some people. We know that black girls can be mean, but they have their people. You will have a woman that will not be willing to gel with you even in the slightest, but then come to learn that there's 3 other colleagues in the building that she just gets along with like a house on fire. And you're like, maybe it's just me. There's something that I ooze, that I stank of, that's not giving to her nostrils. So whatever, you can't win them all. But when a woman is like that towards literally every woman that you have seen her meet, that's a spirit. That is a spirit. And Petunia was like that. For 2 years that I dated my boyfriend, I found her in the relationship. So they were together longer than him and I were together. For the whole 2 years that I was with my ex, not the whole 2 years, I was with him for 5, but only for the first 2 were they still together. Can't nobody win. And the only time that this guy was able to be free like a bird and soar in the sky was when he came to the brides all by himself. Or, because that's what these buggers be out here doing all the time. Abambile some other girl. With another girl. I'm makwapeni a side piece. Okay. One day my boyfriend, as we're having a discussion, I'm like, Petunia's quiet. Why is she so quiet? Doesn't she like us? What did we do? She appears to be aloof, despondent, and removed. One day after a party, after a braai, I asked my ex-boyfriend what's going on with Pechu. And then my ex decides to spill the beans. He then goes on right ahead to tell me, because he used to tell me stories from here to Timbuktu, that Pechu is busy severely with her man. My ex was very jocose. He was full of laughter, so everything was funny to him. He therefore presented the story in a way that was humorous. But now that I'm a child of God, I recognize the violent tragedy of what was going on over there. In and of myself, I laughed. But now I'm no longer laughing because I can't stand witches. They are my new allergy. And Allergex does not work. Nothing works but elimination. I cannot stand witches. Even in the slightest. But before you have been endured through a severity of spiritual war by them, you tend to be a little bit more light-hearted concerning these randos. I don't have that going down anymore, so please don't try me. My ex-boyfriend is out here sharing the stories of Pechu. And according to my ex, Petunia was very, very busy with the boyfriend. He came and he was like, yo, baby. I was like, it. I said the name of the guy was Vusi, right? Vusi is Isboshwa. He is a prisoner in that relationship. He tells us Uguti sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night. He tells us that sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night and this chick is hovering over his body, just staring in the middle of the night. He's sleeping, I got yawning, changing sides. That's Vusi. And when his eyes open, just even slightly, Petunia's like, I mean, if there's no violin music they're playing, I don't know what is. Yeah, Petunia be like that. Hovering over Vusi, just staring at him. And then Vusi would be like, whoa. And then tell his friends, yo, Ndoda, I woke up this morning. No, like, it's in the middle of the night and she was just staring at me. Apparently this chick was busy with this guy, bewitching the living daylights out of him to keep him in a bunch. Hence the relationship just lingered for as long as it did. The relationship lingered for as long as it did, and the only reason it ended was because Petunia left. She found another guy, someone with more money, and so abandoned Vusi behind. Otherwise, Vusi would have been stuck with Pechu for life because she was holding a man hostage in a relationship with spells. And the man was aware of it, and Pechu didn't care. Pechu was, at some point, a call center agent, but then somewhere along the way, she gained an opportunity to be a commission-only broker. Either way, be her in call center mode or broker, she used to wear designer gear from here to Timbuktu. And not Mtubulo, not fakes. The chick was wearing real Fendi, she was wearing real Gucci, she was wearing real Burberry, real Chanel. And Vusi was doing okay for himself well, but not well enough to afford all that on her. In and of himself, he had his own rent to pay, his own car installment to pay, and his own clothes to buy, his own mama to bechela. He had his own responsibilities. And so there is no pocket change that Vusi could have that would afford that much Gucci for a call center agent. And yet, nonetheless, she was rocking the Fendi and out here causing people in the call center to be like, "Ooh, what's going on over there?" She was obviously cheating on him with multiple men that were financing her shopping sprees. She, however, had real feelings for Vusi. So Vusi was the actual boyfriend, like the main, the stable, the one that was her anchor, her baseline. And she did not want to lose that. But she knew that the guy would be like, "Petunia, you're rocking Gucci from tip to toe, girl, with a purse. Where did you get that? You are on a call center salary after all. And even then, as a broker, you are not selling so many policies that you are actually going to be a millionaire broker overnight. You're just starting out on the craft. You're still sourcing clients." And even that broker job she was hooked up by Vusi. He helped her get the promotion or the upskill, the leveling up. He's the one that connected her with that opportunity. And he knew, therefore, just what it is that she could do. Right? And this chick, however, was always just killing it. She didn't even have her own car. I don't even think she had a driver's license yet. And yet she was, on any given weekend, any given Saturday, wearing clothing that cost more than a cheap car. That was Petu. She was petulant, but her name is Petunia. Petu, however, not Petu, Vusi, despite the observation of the fact that it is impossible for Petu to afford that lifestyle. Petu also, I'm gonna get to that, did not come from a wealthy family. Because you sometimes find rich kids that want to work a normal 9-to-5 job. And so you'll find them in the call center, even though mom is a whole entrepreneur. So that can account for all the Gucci that they wear in the call center, and they can also account for the big car they're driving while working at the call center. It's because they've got old money. Now, Petu was not like that. She came from poverty, and yet she was dressed and smelled like money. Any man would know what's going on over there. I mean, the brides that she would attend, that we would invite her to, that she would come and hang with us. We invited her boyfriend, but then she sometimes tagged along. I mean, I remember one time it was a winter bride, and this chick rocked up with some mink, like some coat that was looking like an animal. It was so elaborate. Like, yo, it was just so elaborate while we are rocking bomber jackets and coats, you know, like trench coats to the knee and some scarves. This chick rocked up with animal. She rocked up with like a bear on her. And you could tell that mink that she was rocking was ridiculously expensive. Here's this chick with a mink coat and this elaborate expensive thing. She was always, it was back when most of us were plain faced. She was always with a full face beat. You know those chicks who have relaxed hair? And I mean, I dealt with them in school all the time, and I could never understand, like, relaxed hair that never has growth. You know those girls? Like, remember in school, when you were in high school, there were always those school girls that when you are to be dealing with growth on your relaxed hair, and you having to slick it down with all different kinds of gels, they always look like they come out of the, what do you call this, the salon. They never have new growth. Like, they never have new growth. You will ask yourself, how's that even possible? But there are chicks, I promise you, they had superpowers when I was in high school that never had new growth on relaxed hair. Yeah, this chick was like that. She was like those chicks in my high school with no new growth on relaxed hair ever. Her relaxed hair was always il pondo, il figala, and it was never without slicking down with gel. Never ever with growth. Maybe she just so happened to relax her hair before coming to hang out with us. I don't know, because we didn't see her every weekend, you know. But she never had new growth. Always had a face beat before face beats were popular. Like this makeup fad of these like latter 20s, 2014, these 2010 years. This makeup trend with makeup tutorials on YouTube and kids that are just 12 years old out there doing face beats. Nah, I didn't grow up in that. Like when we were 20, 21, 22, 25, we were still going to the office barefaced. No mascara, nothing. Makeup is a now thing. Yes, it's been around, but there were some women, of course, that would always wear it. But largely, my crew of girls were always makeup free. Largely. So for us to have someone, like I have a little sister who is always wearing makeup with her friends. They're always in face beats. And she's 22. She's only 22. Or is it 23 now? Years old. That phenomenon of an entire crew of girls out here with a full face beat. Nah, that wasn't a thing when I was on the come up, okay? We rocked out plain faced and everything. But this chick was the one out of all of us that was always with powder, lots of like makeup, and the kind of girl whose perfume you can smell when she's still in the car. Like she was just glam vibes. She was soft glam or hardcore glam from here to Timbuktu nth degree. And she also treated us all like we stank. Okay, now understand, my friends and I were somewhat fashionable ourselves. So for somebody to go and treat a bunch of girls that can put clothes on their bodies like they ain't jack, it says that what she was wearing was not something from Trenery or YDE or Young Designers Emporium. It was from Gucci, and that made all the difference. That made us skivvies. Anyway, this expensive doll face with no growth on her hair lived that luxuriously and had that luxurious general look in front of a man that could not afford that lifestyle for her, and yet he did not question it. He did not question it. They just kept jollering and dating, and this dude never raised it once. He just took it. And even the whole Fendi-fied general look that she had was something that my ex and all the boys around raised, but this guy was not trying to talk about it. So my ex was like, yo, Gucci from tip to toe. But the boy don't want to say nothing about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. So she is basically gossiped by his boys on some law by Amudla with this guy playing dead. We are defendisa. He is playing, you get my point. He's acting like a stiff on a cold bed. He's playing dead. He's playing dead. This dude did not question anything, but every so often he would tell his boys that, yo, sometimes I wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, and this chick is just staring at me. I think she's doing rituals. Petunia. There's a brain-eating amoeba over there. My ex then went on right ahead to explain to me Petunia's story, where she came from. Petunia was a young woman that grew up in extreme hardship in a 4-room in Soweto with no one but her mom. She, from as early as she could remember, had been getting groomed by her mother to never ever let herself waste her youth, to never ever let herself waste her beauty and waste her glory, to never ever let herself throw away her opportunity to live in a proper house. Her mother was a has-been that had a severity of glory, yet however dated for love, and then spent her time counseling Petu when now things ran dry. When the mom was now living on a government stipend on some deadbeat job that did not make sense, realizing that she squandered her youth, and so now being old, she can't anymore impress men with any kind of sensible money. She then decided to pimp out her kid. She made a decision that we are going to eat. because of you. I notice that you are beautiful. I notice that you are stunning, spectacular, grabbable, havable. When we go to the mall, every bugger out here in the streets be looking at you, pet you. I remember I used to look like you, but I don't anymore. And so started to groom and counsel her daughter that the only way that you and I are going to get out of here is if you start to use all that to get what's good coming. So since she was in high school, her mother was prepared to let her teenage daughter have BMWs, Mercedes Benzes, Range Rovers, whatnot, park outside of a 4-bedroom house in Soweto, a quaint little house in Soweto, to pick up the daughter, and she would let her go partying. She would, no rules in this house. You can go up until the sun comes up. You can disappear the whole weekend, I don't care. But make sure when you come back with this. Make sure when you come back with this. Make sure when you come back with a wad, okay? So that we can have groceries at the end of the month. I will let you party it up a storm as much as you want. And I will let you run rampant in these streets. Just make sure, however, that you protect yourself, because we don't want you getting a disease, because that's going to make you valueless. You are not going to be viable if you get sick. You also can't fall pregnant, because once you have a baby, you are going to lose your street cred, your clout. You have got to keep yourself healthy, but you must keep bringing that in. I can't do that. I've tried to jola rough as a mom and get myself adored, but I've lost my spunk, my swagger, my energy, my je ne sais quoi. I have lost that edge because I'm older now, but you haven't. Don't ever be like me and date for love. Don't ever be like me and be a good girl, because you're then gonna just have nothing but a 4-bedroom house in Soweto. Now, if y'all know what 4-bed houses, not 4-bedroom, sorry, but a 4-room in Soweto. A 4-room, not 4-bedroom. 4-room, a bitch. If I said bedroom, you're probably like, 4 bedrooms is wonderful. No, 4-room. 4 rooms. 4 rooms in Soweto are these apartheid built houses that had no bathrooms. There was only a toilet on the outside, and people that live there have to bath in buckets. There's no shower, no ablution facilities, only a toilet, and it tends to be outside. So the people there, if they want to pee in the middle of the night, could of course go outside and pee there, or they would get diruwe, these like I don't even know what they call them in English, man, like little buckets to pee in overnight, the ones that older people in old age homes use when they don't want to travel all the way, trudging through a forest to get to a toilet. They just have one right next to their beds. My grandmother had one right next to her bed, and she would put it underneath her bed, and if she needed to use it, she would squat there, put it back, and in the morning she would spill the contents out into a she would spill the contents out into the toilet in the morning. That's how they go to the little girl's room in the middle of the night without having to go outside and use the loo. As for washing hands, that's another story for another day. Let's not get into it. Probably not. Anyway, this chick lived like that, and all throughout her life, she would have to pee in a bucket until morning to spill the contents in the outside toilet. She went to high school having bathed in a skottelkie. The mother was able to afford taking her, however, to a Model C school because her mother invested in her as her meal ticket. So she got her, given a twang. She got her given Model C education, all that, and what have you, and said that I'm not going to invest all this and use the last of my remaining 2 bob of money to take you to the school in the suburbs so that I can still stay poor. You are viable now from 14. You are viable now from 15. You are viable right now. So go to work, girl. Get to work. She made it sound good. She did not feel like she was being prostituted. When a mother is proud of a girl and is like, there, baby girl, I'm so happy. You're such a good girl. I'm so proud of you. When you have all that much approval from your mother, you will not see that there's something wrong with what you are doing. Until, of course, maybe today, as a 40-year-old woman, she's probably feeling some kind of way about how she got to where she got, or maybe she is content. Maybe she's a Christian. We don't know. life changes, but stuff like this tends to dawn on little girls only later. And by then they're already damaged females after transferring rubbish, and like as with meiosis or mitosis, a splitting of a cell, they just transfer the rubbish to the kids. The mother used this chick, and so there were all these cars coming to pick up this girl from 14, 15, and makeup. She was trained by the mom. That's why she was the only one among us with a face beat. And when you wear makeup as a teenage girl, you look older. You look like you're in your 20s, etc. She was out here rocking face beat, dating older men with big fat chunky cars that were picking her up, that would leave her with wads of cash at the end of the night. Or the end of the escapade, because sometimes it would last days. She would be gone for days and then only come back home. The mother was not too troubled when her daughter did not sleep home. When she was sleeping malunde, unlike the rest of us that were getting clobbered with a puffer for being out that many days in a row, she was being congratulated for bringing home wads. Yeah, so this chick got accustomed to designer gear from being a teenager. Now, when you are a teenage girl wearing Gucci, living in a 4-room house in the Gasi, with that being a whole weird thing, and strangely never ever did by the time that the two of them broke up, the mom was still staying in a 4-room, so she tried to use her daughter as a meal ticket, but still these Butmadlisas were not prepared to take the mom out of that environment. Maybe what they did was buy her groceries and perhaps paint her kitchen, maybe install a bathroom. I don't know, but they certainly did not take her out of that house. Maybe she today has taken her mom out of that environment, but the guys never ever did. But the mom saw this chick as a meal ticket. Okay, yeah, that's what's good. This chick being the meal ticket that she was at that stage, then because of all this all this money, all this lifestyle that she was living, because of this lifestyle that she was living, she then of course got judged severely by the Gasi, by the general environment. You be out, you're getting gossiped. Oh, how much be Petunia? When you're 14, 15, 16, and you're out, you're getting Range Rovers parking outside of your mama's house. That's what's good. And your mama don't have qualms with it. You're going to be ostracized in the community. You're going to be called a harlot, blah, blah, all that jazz. Other parents, are going to say to their kids, I don't want you hanging out with Petunia. I don't care what you say, but you don't get to hang out with Petunia. You are not to be friends with Petunia. So Petunia started getting passed a whole bunch of shade by kids in the hood, by girls in the neighborhood, and they didn't want to hang with her. So the only way that Petunia could, I guess, make friends was if she hung out with the side pieces, the little jump-offs, the ladies of the night that these men with their boys tended to hang out with. So basically other slay queens. Yeah, she could only hang out with other slay queens, and she had also endured attitude